Suit up and check those buttons. You are now locked in with HotKeys Esports, your hottest esports podcast, covering every gaming acronym from the FGC to the CS2 to the LCSLOLIEM. Take your pick. We got them all. Today in particular, though, I, Prater, and my host, co-host, always, please.
Dobon.
Don't want to jump ahead. We are going to walk you through a big FGC week. It's just, I don't know. I noticed it's a big FGC week, man.
I mean,
there's
news and everything else coming out from SGF and all the other developer shows and stuff like that, or publisher shows and.
Right, we got big character announcements. We got dreams being crushed in the land of Tekken. We've got new games, new characters, character rosters, things to discuss from the culture. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a whole ton of FGC today. And yeah, I mean, I think
let us know.
There's a lot of places we could start. Oh, what are we letting know?
If you're in the know of what's been going on, because I'm sure our audience is savvy enough to have been tapped in to some of these things, right?
Right.
Let us know which one you're most excited for down below in the comments.
Yeah. No, comment what you're most excited for. Comment what you hate. We love hating energy. Do whatever.
Real certified haters over here at the HotKeys office.
Yeah. First order of business. Like, comment, subscribe, as they say. Share with your friends. Let them know.
Yep.
Take our opinions and spread them as your own at parties. Yeah. I don't mind.
We're well-learned folk sometimes.
Speaking of learned, let's talk some numbers.
Let's get in there.
Let's talk EVO 2026 numbers, all right? Because we finally have, as
EVO
of 7
Vegas,
hours ago.
Specify now because the Saudis have made it so.
Yes, EVO Las Vegas. We finally have final registration numbers on EVO 2026.
Yes.
Came out literally 7 hours ago at the point of recording this, and I do think this stuff is worth talking about, because let's just start. All right. So Street Fighter 6 obviously takes your number one spot at 2,414. Tekken 8 is your second spot at 1,354. 2XKO at your third spot with 1,080.
Mm-hmm.
Rivals of Aether 2 at 1,022.
Insane.
Guilty Gear Strive at 912. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising at 466. City of the Wolves, 443. Invincible Versus, 403. Vampire Saviors at, 259. Sorry, 259. Central Fiction at 248. Under Night in Birth 2 at 213. Damn, Central Fiction and Under Night 2 going at it. I love to see it. Central Fiction still hitting 250 fucking players in 2026. What a game.
Evo Japan, weren't the numbers like fairly close for those two?
Yeah, I think they're generally around each other. It's just
Grand Blue and.
No, I think you're right. That sounds like the Grand Blue usually pulls a little bit ahead, I think, in these kinds of things. I don't know. Yeah, Central Fiction holding on is sick. That game's good. And then Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage, your 12th game at 112 entrants. A lot of multiple stories to glean, I think, from these numbers alone, right? Because obviously you've got Rivals of Aether 2 hitting the fourth spot at 1,022, and there is maybe a little bit of controversy, should we say? Have you heard about this? Have you heard of the controversy regarding these numbers?
I've heard the whispers and the mentions that a larger entity in the streaming world has a hand in why these numbers might be so high, because you look at the platform fighter space, and if it's not Smash, are we really pulling numbers like this? If it's not Melee or Ultimate, are we really pulling these numbers? Is Rivals 2 really that popular? Is your favorite fighting game creator playing Rivals 2?
Most would agree it is not. It has typically not pulled these numbers before. And there might be a thing that has happened where if you happened to have signed up for Rivals 2, entered the game for Evo, they may have covered your registration fee for other games. And that was on, obviously, Ludwig, streamer mogul, mogul moves, Moist. Well, he was a
Was
part
it
of Moist, and now that's part of
Shopify?
Shopify Rebellion. Yeah, now he's Shopify Rebellion. Um, very large US streamer. Uh, he basically gave out Evo registration
Publisher
codes.
of Rivals of Aether 2 as well, on top of that.
Yeah, but exactly. Now, for those who didn't know, also a literal publisher of Rivals of Aether 2. When he found out his game could have basically a slot that I think it was competing to see what would cap out Saturday or show up on Evo Sunday. I forget exactly how it shook out. He worked out a deal. I don't know if it's with Evo. I'm not going to claim to understand exactly who worked this deal
What
out.
happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. But we do know what is a fact, what is out there that you can see is that he did basically give out Evo registration codes that made the 3-day event free to attend. If you signed up for Rivals of Aether 2, your registration fees were waived, essentially. Which is a crazy amount of money. Just so you know, for those not aware, it's like over $100. Yeah, like that you'd be saving by just saying that you will play Rivals of Aether 2 at Evo. This rubbed a lot of people the wrong way for various reasons. If you feel like your game got robbed of its stage slot, there are a lot of reasons I guess you could be mad about this. People are, at the time were calling it like it's going to be the largest number of DQs that we've seen in ages because there's...
I think ever, honestly, if that's like the case.
They were comparing it to, I forget what year it was, but there was a year where if you signed up to play KOF, they gave you a free shirt. I don't remember if it was 2013 or which one. But yeah, people were like, that one had like an insane number of DQs because it was just like people just wanted the shirt. They just signed up, got the shirt, and then didn't play their match. I think there were a lot of people who signed up for Street Fighter or Tekken or Guilty Gear Strive that also added Rivals of Aether to their registration because why would you not? It gives you free money, right? Like it's why, yeah, you have no intention of playing Rivals of Aether 2. You care about you're there to play the game you want to play. But if they're going to pay for your registration, why would you not add it? Anyone would.
Right.
So obviously these numbers are looking inflated. And it is what it is. We live in the reality where it happened. I guess I want to add, and he put out a statement basically saying like, I'm the publisher of this game. I want to see this game do well. He was talking about how he was wowed when he saw Melee on the Evo stage for the first time, and he wants that for a game that he is like closely tied to. And I guess I can respect the hustle and the love for your game and all that. Where do you fall on this? Is it what it is moment? You shrug, whatever, it's fine. Are we like, I can't believe this happened? How are you feeling about maybe buying some numbers for your game to get a higher slot at Evo, even though we will probably see a pretty large DQ percentage for Rivals of Aether 2?
That's what I'm thinking, right? Like, if it doesn't make sense. Like, I get you. I understand, like, you want to see the game do well and you want to see it on a global stage. But if you don't have players, like, it doesn't matter. Right, end of the day, the game and the spectacle of it are put on by its players, and
yeah,
if you're just gonna pay people to show up to not play your game, then it's counterintuitive.
True. Yeah, true.
So like you're just throwing money at the wall, hoping people are like, oh hey, Rivals of Aether 2, right, and then they don't play the game because they want to play Gear or they want to play Tekken, they want to play Street Fighter, and then your day comes around. And like the 6 people that actually do want to play your game are there, right? Like, I'm not saying Rivals of Aether only has 6 people. That game with everything is
decent-sized platform fighter. Yeah,
it's a good time. The first game was also just amazing. So like Rivals of Aether is a good game. It's a very good game.
So for comparison, just so we can see what the ballpark we're playing with, Combo Breaker 2026 this year. I'm looking at the numbers for Rivals of Aether 2 there. smaller tournament by actually not as significant of a margin as you will see when we talk about last year's Evo's numbers. But for instance, at Combo Breaker this year, 184 people signed up for Rivals of Aether 2. Right.
That's what you would expect from platform fighter numbers.
Let's say Evo is let's say Evo is 2 times the event that Combo Breaker is in terms of entrance numbers. Even then, let's say you're doubling Rival of Entrance, right? That's 400 players, not 1,000. Right? Like, yeah, I guess I don't know. Initially it was real annoying to me. I was like, ugh, this is so full. And I
currently, as of this time, just because I was curious as to like entrance numbers versus, active players overall.
Right.
24-hour peak. We'll just put that. 691 players on Rivals of Aether 2 the last 24 hours. All-time peak is 6,708 players.
This is on Steam charts?
This is on Steam charts, yes.
Okay.
So obviously not factoring in Switch players or wherever else you can get.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're working with rough Steam charts numbers here. I'll be the first to be a Steam charts posting hater, but no, yeah, for the sake of science and seeing where we're at from number, I think this is a fine
So
metric.
if in a vacuum, right, compared to the entrance numbers, you had 600 active players in the last day, right? And then you had 100 players show up to a LAN.
184. Yeah, 184.
Okay,
yeah.
We'll round up. We'll give them benefit of the
We'll
doubt.
round up for 200. We'll give them benefit of the doubt. Yeah, let's say 200.
A third of your player base showed up, which is good numbers, right? But your player base is 600 people. So, by comparison to Street Fighter or even Melee, how many people are on Slippy, on a daily basis, right? The reach that Melee has.
I would actually be really curious. That's a good question. I don't think they disclose those numbers, right? But I would be really curious actually what your average weekly user base of Slippy is. That's a really interesting question.
How much does Ludwig even play Rivals of Aether 2 versus Slippy? Like, if I'm being honest, like I know he loves Melee, right? And like he's only invested in Rivals 2 because Rivals 2, Rivals 1 is a good game. He's friends with Dan. But like he loves Melee.
Melee acolyte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they both love Melee. How much, and like I know Dan plays his own game. Like of course you do. Like you put a lot of love and care into it. I know he plays Rivals too. How much Rivals is he playing compared to Slippy? How much
to play devil's advocate in a couple ways here. I guess for the first one, I know Ludwig was big playing that game when it came out. Obviously, you have like an obligation because you're a publisher, but I think this goes beyond that. I think we can both fairly say he was around Melee enough to have a love for his game, and I think he legitimately liked Rivals 2 as well, right?
Right.
It wasn't just like, oh, I published it, I gotta play it. I think he was legitimately a little bit of a grinder. I remember hearing him bitch about Loxodon, I think is the name of the
elephant guy.
The elephant.
Yeah.
Who I was playing initially when that game came out too, because I didn't have she's in now, but I don't remember her name. She's the
Claren?
She has the Makoto dash punch.
Oh, the crystal girl.
Yeah, the crystal girl.
Yeah.
She's who I played in Rivals 1, and then she got added to 2, and I played her a little bit in 2.
But
she wasn't in there at launch.
It's cool.
She was a workshop character from 1. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I remember him talking about Loxodon and complaining about Loxodon, and I remember being like, oh, he definitely plays because like he has similar complaints that I do about Loxodon's like current state.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm not even gonna discredit, like obviously Ludwig has put time into Rivals 2. I don't know how much anymore. I've never been a Ludwig like stream watcher. I don't know how much he's doing now. I would assume probably a decent amount if he's a PR savvy man like he is, because why would you not be streaming it now if you're trying to make this Evo push?
Yeah.
That being said, I think this was a bit of a two-pronged issue, right? So to play devil's advocate a little bit further, I guess, before I turn this into like a two-pronged issue where we come at Ludwig again, I'm gonna offer you this, right? Because like you said, clearly this isn't a play it your game getting played at the event, because I think we're both pretty sure, like most people are, that there's gonna be a ton of fucking DQs for this game. We might see as many as 50%. Who knows how many people show up to their rivals pool matches? This could be 500 people playing this game.
T-Fighter players, as is, don't even respect Smash as a fighting game to begin with. Like, let's get one thing out. Like, clear the elephant out of the room. Right?
For that platform word in front of it.
Platform fighters to many a fighting game player, and especially the OGs, as you would find, don't respect Smash in the same sense as they'll respect someone playing King of Fighters or Street Fighter, or your traditional 4 to 6 button 2D like side-scrolling fighting game.
Tekken players won't even respect you for playing a 2D fighter, much less a platform one. You know
exactly. That was my next point. Tekken players, 3D fighter players will be like, you primitive ape, you're still on 2 dimensions. You don't know what you don't.
Tekken takes that to the extreme, dude. You play like Soul Calibur, they're like, "Why do you have that sword in your hand, coward? Fight with your fist." Like,
exactly. So like as is, like the pockets of the FGC don't respect platform fighters at all.
I think there's a little bit less animosity than there used to be, but I don't
unless you're playing
disagree
Brawlhalla.
with you. I'll say that
Brawlhalla has to have its own event because no one else will host them. That's just what it is.
Was it so? This is maybe a tangent. That game was like quietly the biggest game on Steam for a while. I don't know. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's because it's free. It's competitive. I forgot.
That's wild.
It got
man.
like a
I've never
big
touched that fucking
from,
game, and like motherfuckers be just playing that shit.
Yeah, I mean it's a big hit with like a younger age group, like
sure, okay,
preteens and like Roblox kids.
One of the officers in Team Liquid's guild in the Liquid guild, and one of their best WoW players was apparently he was a guy named, his name is Boomy, and apparently he was the GOAT of that game. Fun fact. Now he's a world first rater.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. No,
Brawlhalla like one of the goats of
Brawlhalla's
Brawlhalla,
a cool game.
and now he's
not my cup of tea. I don't understand it. But it's got like
never touched it.
movement.
Like I said, never. It's always funny when I hear how big that game was / still is, and like I've literally just never played it. I've seen it, but I've never touched it.
If you like movement in fighting games, that game is just movement. That is all it is. So
that's cool.
Yeah, there's something there.
But yeah, I don't disagree with you. Obviously, I think the animosity, the walls have been torn down on the FGC, I think, as it has grown to where it's like no one really cares that much about
as long as you're playing a fighting game, it's like the important part.
Right.
But if you want to get like competitive spirit and life of your game, this, that, and the other.
Some of that is still there for sure. It doesn't always go away.
There were cheers and parades in the streets when Melee got dropped from Evo. When Smash as a whole got dropped from Evo.
Yeah, there are definitely some people who are not going to be happy about it. But let's say this, right? So I guess going back to my devil's advocate point, let's say 500 people don't play this game, and there are a record amount of DQs for Rivals of Aether 2. Do you think? I think he can't be delusional enough. No one is delusional enough to think that that's not going to happen, right? I guess. So do you think this is less about the in-person attendance and more of like what that stage could, he cares more about what Rivals of Aether being on the big Sunday stage is the first game of the weekend or the first game of like final Sunday, what that will mean. Like, maybe he doesn't care about the in-person. Maybe he's hoping that someone will see that. They'll see the first game of Evo Sunday top 8. It's Rivals of Aether, and they'll be like, "Oh wow, this is cool."
Well, if he's a publisher,
maybe he's more leaning into that,
right?
Than
if he's Mogul Moves publishing this whole thing, right? I would expect, and here's my Ludwig headcanon. This is, if I was Ludwig, this is what I'm doing. I'm getting as many eyes on Rivals of Aether because obviously you're gonna have like Sony and a couple other people watching to be like, what fighting games are doing well? What can we promote? Evo is a Sony-owned event, so they're gonna obviously have people there.
Not anymore.
Oh, did Kadia buy them out like entirely?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
No,
pretty sure.
well, no, because
I'd
they
have to
had that
double look that
on.
up, but yeah.
They had that whole thing where it was like a subsidiary of Sony Computer Entertainment,
RTS and like all that stuff. Yeah.
like is the ones that they like transferred ownership to,
Right.
and there's that, but it's still technically part of Sony, and
Yeah.
whatever.
I think it's fully owned by RTS, which was a subsidiary of Sony, and then
Yeah.
Nodwin bought the SIE stakes. So like Sony
So,
Entertainment
okay.
Interactive Entertainment is got bought by Nodwin, and then Kadia completely bought RTS. So basically, it's entirely owned by Kadia now.
Right,
Like
okay.
entirely, yeah.
Still, you're gonna have
Sony is a global sponsor now. I think is actually how it looks on paper.
Yeah. So either way, you want your indie game to get front of somebody, a larger entity, to fund the game further, right? Because like how many indies get picked up by like or get like funding
No, I mean,
from like a
I
larger studio like a
I
Nintendo
totally
or something
see
like
it.
that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm cutting him too much slack in the sense that like I want to believe that part of it is just like he wants someone at home to watch Evo Sunday, see Rivals,
and
and
buy
be like,
Rivals.
oh,
But I mean that
what's
also just like, I mean, obviously that helps him. It's like a big ad, right? It's like, oh,
well,
Rivals
yeah,
are right
yeah.
there.
I guess I'm more. There's no way to distance ourselves from the money thing on this. But I wonder if it's all just that, if it's just more money in his pocket, or if he legitimately wants people to play the game and like
It could be both.
I think someone like him is legitimately invested, and whether it happens or not, and let's be honest, it probably is not because this is just the reality of the world we live in and the lightning in a bottle that was Melee. I think Ludwig would love to have Melee 2 on his hands, right? I think, and not even from a money standpoint, but just from a cultural, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, like just
He loves Melee. Like
yeah,
simply put, he loves Melee.
right. So
He
like the
built
idea
part
that
of his
he
platform
made the
on
next
being a Melee
Melee
fan.
is fucking huge. And I think he wants that. And I think he sees this as an avenue that maybe through an Evo push, through a Sunday showing, he can maybe start that move towards Rival truly being the next Melee. Like I said, money completely notwithstanding, as difficult as that is to say when this is like directly monetarily benefiting him. Um, yeah, I guess there's something to that. Now, once again, can we argue? Can you say I don't think any of that is fucking warranted because you're funding its placement there? Sure, I'm willing to bite on that, and I would even go as far as to say I'd probably agree with that to some degree, right?
There's
Because it's
something that
just
feels
like
just a little disingenuous about
a little
buying the
icky,
flops
yeah.
there, yeah.
Because it's like anyone with that amount of money would love to do that, right? But like, it's just like a time, place. I don't know. It does feel icky. I can't
How many
really
like anime
not
fans out there
think
would
that.
want to put, they're like an Under Night or something like that to
Yeah.
the same, do the same thing for their game that either can't or don't, because the
No,
game should
I
speak
100%
for
agree.
itself.
Yeah, I agree. I think South America would love to do that for City of the Wolves every day of the week, right? Like I don't, like
If there was a millionaire streamer that loved SNK games as much as the community loves it and wants to.
I could go far enough to secure a deal for this like mystical code that's dropping registration fees,
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy thing. Like on top of that, like this was something specifically given, like
Like
this
a
wasn't given to
coupon
anyone
code.
else. Yeah, like this coupon code wasn't given to anyone else, it was given to him. Like yeah.
And
It's certainly
what's
wild.
Kadia's
Like
angle to like allow that?
so here I'm glad you asked that because I do think this transitions. This was done registration closed, I think, at the end of May or maybe the first week of June, something like that. I'm
Mhm.
not sure exactly when registration closed, but it was maybe a little over a month ago, something like that. This was definitely a thing that happened near the end of registration. And I think part of why this was allowed to happen, because like you said, why would they allow this? So I'm going to give you the 2025 Evo numbers, and I think you will start to glean why this was allowed to happen.
Mm.
Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 6 in 2025 had 4,228 entrants. Tekken 8 had 2,521 entrants. City of the Wolves had 1,576. Guilty Gear Strive had 1,508. Grand Blue Versus had 936. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had 570. Under Night had 547. Mortal Kombat 1 had 377. So with the 8 games displayed there, that carried over into the next thing, you're looking at Street Fighter 6 with an almost 50% decrease in players, Tekken 8 almost a 50% decrease, City of the Wolves like 70%, Guilty Gear like 40%, Grand Blue down 50%, Under Night down 60%. Entrance as a whole, like full numbers, way down. Way down. And I think that is part of that's my, all speculation here, right? But that to me, if you're looking at how much lower your numbers are here, I don't have the tweet, unfortunately, I don't think, which I should have grabbed it, but I didn't. But I did see someone saying the separation between Combo Breaker this year and Evo this year was like about 1,000 for like, which Combo Breaker is a big event. It's not like Evo big. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for there to be like 1,000 difference on entrance, like tournament player entrance, I don't know, man. It's a bad sign. So clearly, Evo registration numbers way lower this year than last year.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of speculation going on about why that is. It's tough because I think it's a lot of factors. A lot of people want to point to one thing or the other. I think there's a lot of factors. I guess before I say what do you think? What do you think is the contributing factor that is causing such a huge dip in Evo numbers from this year to last year?
The fact that we're talking specifically about Vegas, right?
Yeah. We're talking because that's what we have numbers on, right? What I told you was literally Vegas numbers
from
in 2025 versus 2026.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's like 7 Evos now. So,
that is a
so
commonly
people,
looked at thing. Yeah,
people don't have to travel the hundreds of thousands of miles to go to Evo, and when they could just go, you're in the UK, you take an hour flight to Paris, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Japan, you don't leave Japan.
Yep, take a train.
Yeah. Like there's less of an incentive to come out to Evo. And I think the sterilization of the event as a whole, and I mean this, almost every episode we criticize Kadia, the EWC, so I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it on this one. It's 100 Evos, and it's the fact that it feels so far removed from the community putting it on, and it's now just our corporate Kadia Gaming City overlords that are putting it on. It just feels like, why would I go to this when I could go and support my locals, support my scene,
I mean, you're not wrong. That's the thing, is there's obviously, I think there are multiple factors at work here.
Culture shifts.
I think the global economy obviously doesn't help. Traveling is more expensive than ever. Vegas is fucking more expensive than ever. Evo Vegas itself, to get a badge prior to the Ludwig discount, was going to cost you anywhere from $300 to $400, depending on how many fucking entrants you were going to put in. So you got all that going on, and you're right. $300 to $400 on Evo Vegas is way less appealing when you could go to Evo Thailand, Evo South America, Evo Paris, Evo Japan.
Right.
Evo
Mexico.
There's way less of a reason. Yeah, there's way less of a reason to come to America, which on top of everything else I just named, also now has like people's fucking visas are getting rejected, passports getting rejected. I'm not even going to approach that, but it's a whole other problem there. You got that working against it. You have the money working against it. Flights are more expensive.
If I'm a North American player, why would I go to Evo Vegas when I could go to Evo Mexico, where my dollar will go farther regardless, and I could have a much better time?
Some people brought it up. I didn't even think about this aspect. Sometimes, for certain people, if you are like a South American, for instance, why would you go to Evo Vegas when you could go to Evo Japan and it costs almost the same amount of money?
Yeah.
You know, to
Yeah.
like go to a new country you've never been to before.
Yeah.
That's not even close.
And it's Japan.
Um,
We all love
yeah,
we all love games and anime.
yeah.
It's like the place to be.
All this stuff, like you said, all of those monetary reasons, huge factors. All of and to speak to the Kadia point, yeah, guess what? It's not a secret. You could have looked around when the sale was talked about months ago. We no one was happy about it. Right? No one was like, I'm so stoked that Kadia owns my Evo now. To there's no way to talk around it. Some of these communities in particular have a lot of what you would call like marginalized or vulnerable people, trans players, LGBTQ players. Those people don't want to be at a gaming event. And if you don't know why, I think you just have your head up your ass. I don't know what else to say. Like,
I mean, it's like, oh well, you're supporting the event, and it's like that's directly supporting a system that is oppressing the
right.
people that I support.
Yeah. No, yes, when people in the Strive community don't want to go to Evo, maybe that's why, right? But it's not just that. Like I said, it's all of these things. It's everything put together. And I think you're right in the number of Evos. We're up to 7 Evos a year. And on top of it, you have the muddled message of like, not only do we have the Evo fighting, but it's like, oh, dude, we're doing the Evo awards and all this. It's so
and then we're doing EWC
bullshit.
On top of it.
Yeah.
So a completely separate event that is still just having players. Well, I guess it's more of an invitational thing. It's top players and whatever, but like.
No, it feels bad for sure, man. It feels bad. And they've got no one to blame but themselves. Like you said, I think this idea of 7 Evos a year is fucking terrible. Global nonsense, like notwithstanding here. That alone is really a huge nail in the coffin, in my opinion. It's just like, why? Evo Vegas, when you had 1 Evo, 2 Evos, even when you had 2 Evos, when they made Evo Japan, I was like, sure, this makes sense. And like, Evo Vegas will still be Evo Prime because like it is what it is, like the community will always select the highest one on the ladder, right?
Right.
That concept works when you have 2 Evos. That concept starts to fall apart when we're reaching critical Evo mass of 5 Evos, 6 Evos, 7. At that point, honestly, who cares, right? Who fucking cares?
Yeah, I mean, like, it detracts from what made Evo. We talked about this in a previous episode where when all this kind of first came about.
Yeah, the 7 Evo dream and it's.
If you want more notes on that one, go check out that video. But it just feels bad. It like I said before, it sterilizes the culture of our community, and you hate to see it. You really just do hate to see what's happening with Evo and the now it's no longer the Evo tournament, it's the Evo brand, and it's just become so corporate. Like,
yeah, we're putting on Evo Legend. It's if you haven't listened to the last episode, listen to it, because even then we see Evo rearing its head into shit it doesn't belong.
And we know you didn't see the last episode.
Go see that last episode.
Go watch that shit. It's good.
It's a good episode. But yeah, it's I don't know. I think everybody felt it, but now you see the numbers, and now you like. Everyone can kind of look at the numbers and nod their head and be like, ugh, yeah, this is pretty fucking gross. Yeah, so I just found a tweet correct. Okay, so to close my point about the CB thing, 2025 Combo Breaker had 4,215 unique entrants to Evo's 8,613. That is almost a 4,400 unique entrant difference between the two tournaments last year. This year, 2026, Combo Breaker had 4,840 unique entrants to EVO's 5,774. That is a 934 unique player difference between Combo Breaker and EVO, also showing that Combo Breaker went up 15% and EVO went down like 33.
Damn.
If that doesn't show the community pulse, the changing of the guard, the, like you said, the death of like something that was seen as the Super Bowl, I don't know what else can paint that picture for you. Like,
It's a hard pill to swallow, you know.
it sucks. It feels bad, but what I will say is, like you said, I hope that with this out there, if we're finally just gonna say fuck it, let's not do Evo. I don't want to do Evo. I don't want to spend the money. Don't go to Combo Breaker. Go to a regional tournament. Hit a Texas show. Find all there are little events out there. There are these little events going on that are not a local but a regional. These kinds of things. Seek one out. Hit up a Combo Breaker. Hit up a CEO if you want that big event feel that still is maintaining some of that spirit. Trust me, they're fucking great, and they'll say it's less money, and you still have a great time. Is Evo fun? Yeah, I still think it'll probably be fun, but it definitely, there is like a distaste in my mouth for it, and I think a lot of people feel that, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon as long as they maintain this this fucking 7 Evos a year bullshit. It's not. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I agree.
Also, granted you can't schedule around this. I don't think the World Cup is doing them any favors on this either.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. World Cup is going on.
Well, even if it's not directly, like, obviously, I think
there's games in Vegas. I'm pretty sure there's games in Las Vegas.
Well, even if it's not, it's just driving up hotel and travel prices because of demand to show up for the World Cup. Like, it's no matter what, it's gonna have an effect on this stuff. But yeah, more so than that, if I guess my greater point to close out our Evo rant, our semi biannual Evo rant, is I hope that they aren't trying to push this off as simply like oh yeah, it's just a bad time in the economy. It's like, no, man,
no.
Your 7 Evos a year is just as much a problem as the rest of this shit. Like,
yeah. It's clueless owners, corpo suits that don't have their thumb on the pulse of the community the way that the original owners did, because they were community members. They were the ones putting on the event, and it got big, which is good. We love that. And Sony got involved, and that was like a little weird, but we like Sony. They make video games. We like video games.
True.
So it was like fine. I was like, okay, yeah, it's a Sony thing now. That's that's big money in an event. And
I love Sean Layden.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. We'll save it for another time. That's the issue with Evo. We're inflating numbers to a dying tournament for a game that nobody wants to play. And
Ludwig's just like, guys, look at my game at Evo. Evo.
Buy a Super Bowl ad, man. I don't know. Put that money somewhere else. Rivals 2 is awesome, guys. Go play Rivals 2. But like, this is not the way to do it, Lud.
Yeah, Lud. What, am I gonna check you at the Riyadh golf course next? Are you hitting up the PGA tour after this one to battle Rivals? All right, you want to move from one dumb suit to the next corporate suit that I don't like? We're gonna go down the list.
Don't like Jeff Keighley?
No, I like Jeff Keighley. That's
okay.
I'm not even talking about that one. I got a whole different one for you.
Okay, that's the other guy in the suit that I was thinking of.
No. This one you won't expect. This one I got one for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Capcom president Sugimoto.
Sugimoto-san.
Yeah.
Pull the mask off like it's Scooby Doo.
So we got some translations here from Hi Fight, well-known Twitter Japanese translator for those who don't know. And he wanted to talk about an interview that Famitsu, he was just doing his due diligence, translating an interview that Famitsu got with Capcom president, Sugimoto-san. And in this long interview, he had some things to say about Street Fighter 6 and esports. So
Oh,
obviously, I was like, oh, what is
we like
Capcom
esports.
president Sugimoto saying? Obviously, there's a lot of questions hanging over our head between the pay-per-view of last year and all this other stuff. Are there lessons learned? What's going on? Um, and there are a couple things. We're gonna go through these tweets, and I want your takes on them. So to start, specifically, we're only talking about the SF6 and esports stuff. He said, esports shouldn't be treated as merely a marketing tool for selling games. As long as the game itself is selling, it's okay for tournaments to operate at a loss. Uh he thinks that prevents esports from growing further. So he says bad mentality.
Not
Um
based. Not based. Opposite of based.
so then he thinks that Japan's success from its player success comes sorry. He thinks Japan's success comes from its player, which continues to produce new star players. His next goal is to strengthen player development in the US. Goes on with a quote, now that we can hold events at Ryogoku Kokugaiken, for those who don't know, that's where Capcom Cup has been held 2 years in a row. It's actually a very famous sumo arena in Japan, like a very big, like culturally well-known place. So it is a big deal to be having that event there. He follows it up with like, I'd like to hold an event at the Madison Square Garden someday.
That'd be fire.
That I dig. Okay,
Yeah.
so first thing
Streets
aside,
at the Garden. Sign me up.
the
I'm there.
idea that he is like, I think our country's success is coming from the fact that we are constantly churning out new players who are able to play the game and like be good is great. And then him talking specifically about strengthening player development in the US. Cool. This is a guy who seemingly has his eyes in the right place, in my
Yeah.
opinion, right? Makes sense.
Outside of the
Can't have a game doing well. I think there's something. Yeah,
being secondary to the
I
game's
agree.
success.
I agree with like his ideas. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with the idea that it shouldn't simply be a marketing tool. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
about
agree
the
with
tournaments
that.
operating at a loss thing. Mixed feelings. But certainly the player development thing, I'm totally with. I think he's got the right idea there. So let's move to where I start to develop a problem. Capcom experimented with PPV for Capcom Cup 12 and the SFL Finals. Sales were strong in Japan but weaker overseas. He cited
Gee.
time zone differences
Oh
as a
my
major reason and
gosh.
said it reinforced the importance of holding events in US friendly time
Oh
slots
my
to grow
gosh.
global viewership.
Oh my.
Brother, if you think people didn't buy that
My
pay-per-view because the
traditionally
time
free
slots weren't good.
my traditionally free event on twitch.tv/Capcom Cup, Capcom official, Street Fighter, whatever.
Capcom Fighters.
And we're not getting the views because we stopped doing it there and we made people pay for it.
No, man, it was the times. If he would have rolled that shit back 2 hours, you and I would have bought. We would have been there. What do you mean? Oh, brother.
Let you know what? Let him come to the garden and announce that. The Capcom Cup
Oh
for
my god.
2027 is going to be pay-per-view only or in person at Madison Square Garden. That's what he's gonna say. And then the crowd is gonna erupt and they're gonna like egg him. They're gonna that guy in the Spurs jersey from like a day or two ago.
Oh, Mom Donnie, please. I literally can't believe it. Like, there's no way that was that's what they gleamed, was they were like, fuck, man, no one's buying this ticket outside of Japan. Fuck, we need to roll it back 2 hours. They're trying to go to sleep. What do you mean? Like,
half the audience was sleeping. Of course they didn't watch it. And then
yeah,
like, and then our viewership for all of our stuff was down for the next week because we didn't release this fucking
oh my god.
And then we released the VOD a week later when everybody knew who won and didn't need to watch it. Nobody watched the video. That's
I still haven't seen the grand finals of Capcom Cup this year.
I don't blame you. You know, I haven't seen
Because why
any
would
of
I
Capcom Cup this
care?
year.
Why would I fucking care, man? Sahara is your Capcom Cup champion, and so many people didn't even get to see it fucking happen. Like, it is excruciating, you know, like, because there
Bummer,
was
man.
definitely some hope in my heart that they would see how poorly this did outside of Japan and be like, okay, we need to think about something. And all of that tells me from that interview is they are fucking dumb. I don't, or they're, I don't know. I guess there's like, we're dealing with like culture differences here. Cause like to me, it's like, oh, you're literally like, to me, it's like no one is that dumb. Like you are literally like making excuses and like you're just coping or trying to redirect.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking way that that is actually what they think the problem was. And all it tells me is that this year they're going to do this shit again. And which means I'm robbed of another Capcom Cup Finals again. Which fucking sucks. It super feels bad. Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe this shit. Like I actually can't believe
It's
this shit.
no, it's
I read that shit and I almost fell
so
over. I was
tone
like,
deaf.
he cited time zone differences. Like, for instance, the time zone, from what I know, wasn't even that great. I think it started at like 10 or 11 EST
Which is like fine. You can catch like
PM.
3 or 4
Yeah.
matches. Matches don't go on for like
If you're in
hours.
California, it wouldn't even be that bad.
Yeah. If you're in California, you're watching most of that tournament. Our West Coast viewers, put down
Oh
below
my
if you watched the
God.
entirety of Capcom Cup. And if you
Oh.
did, at what point was finals and were you exhausted because it was like 2 in the morning, or was it at a reasonable time for you?
I'm blown away, man. I'm actually blown away. Like and then the fourth thing he translated was during development, he requested, please avoid sexualized portrayals for new characters. SF didn't need excessive fan service and fans would accept characters naturally aging. Focus on making a game fit for esports. Helped SF6 reach a much wider audience. That third part is true. I agree with the second part, although like I think they aged Chun-Li up a little bit, but that woman looks real good for how old she should be. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
You know, they
Eh,
didn't tone it
and
down
please,
as much as, you know,
yeah,
maybe he wanted
as
to.
right, yeah, maybe they did follow it. Also, please avoid sexualized portrayals for new characters. That is actually true. They did. Someone told that to the jury guy, and he was like, "Go fuck yourself."
It's like, that's all
But
this character has going for. Come on. Let me
yeah,
have
he's like,
this.
she's been around since SF4, and people love her feet. Get off my back.
Yeah.
And you know what they did? And you know
Not
what?
a new character.
Fine.
I can do it.
Yeah, yeah. Because yeah, no, that shit to me is like, it was just funny to read that. Because yeah, for new characters, he's not wrong. I don't think that's untrue. If you look across like the newer characters, Kimberly, Aki, Marissa, Manon, they leaned, in my opinion, if you look at her animations and everything, they leaned further into the foot stuff with Jury in this game. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was funny. That was a funny way to cap that off after I was irate at the idea that time zones are the problem with Capcom Cup.
Insane.
All right, so yeah, Sujimoto-san, I really hope you reconsider how time zones are affecting Capcom Cup viewership. Please do support player growth in the US, though. That's cool. I want to see how you want to do that.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah. Keeping in theme with Street Fighter 6, obviously this all comes on the back of Street Fighter 6 entering its 4th year. And we had at Jeff's Game Awards, we all love Jeff Keighley, as is Street Fighter tradition now, they always show the full set of the DLC. We got 3 brand new characters and a crossover character. We have Yasmin, Arjun, Bosch, who was in Street Fighter World Tour, but is now officially being added to the roster. And long talked about, long storied, long sought after by every fighting game who could possibly try to get their hands on her. Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII is coming to Street Fighter 6 in year 4.
Oh, they said eat your heart out, Tekken.
I guess I don't. Let me start this by saying, I want to know what are your. Do you have an attachment to Final Fantasy VII? I actually have no idea. I know you've played some JRPGs in your time. Do you have any attachment to Final Fantasy VII?
Not the same as someone, I guess, born in the 90s would. Like, my older brother has a very deep attachment to it, and through, like, by proxy, right, he introduced me to games like Kingdom Hearts and, you know, all the other stuff that comes with that. And so, obviously, Cloud and a lot of the cast of FF7 is in that game. So, you know, you go back and you know, you pay homage, you pay your respects, right? You do your due diligence to go back and play that game. But for me, where someone in, you know, 80s, 90s babies that kind of grew up with that being like the quintessential JRPG of the time, and that was like the biggest game and biggest thing ever.
Yeah.
I don't have that. I don't have that same nostalgia and that same, like, I guess, reverence for the game that somebody from that era of gaming would. So,
okay.
Am I hyped about the character? Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I'm kind of glad because because I don't have, so I didn't play it when I was younger. I went back and played it, but I feel like I have Advent Children came out. I just looked it up. Advent Children came out in 2005. So it would have had to have crossed my radar somewhere in, I would assume maybe a year or two after that, whenever it got its English dub. And that actually was my first experience with Final Fantasy VII, was watching Advent Children. I bought a DVD from GameStop after seeing a fight scene on YouTube.
My brother had the movie, and I walked in to the living room and saw him playing it one time.
Yeah, and I love it. I have a lot of that movie is kind of funny and weird and silly in some ways, but they showed it in theaters. What's that, a year ago? I went and saw it, had a blast, loved it. It's cheesy in some ways, but like all in all, I do love it. I have a soft spot for it. But that's actually what got me into Final Fantasy VII. And then obviously I ended up with the same connections you did through Kingdom Hearts. And then eventually I went back and actually played 7 for myself, and then all this other stuff. And I love that game. It's probably still my favorite Final Fantasy, bar none. So many cool characters, so many great moments, so many wonderful motifs and settings and scenes and all this other stuff. But yeah, I am curious, as someone who doesn't quite have that attachment, is the idea, because everyone, even if you don't have that attachment, you know Tifa and you know like the gravity that character carries.
I definitely understand.
Is that
like,
exciting to you, or are you like, wow?
No, absolutely.
Nuts. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, just like maybe for someone else that's maybe not into RPGs, right? Maybe it doesn't have that. But I think if you're a fan of RPGs, you're a fan of, you know, Capcom and Square as entities in gaming, right? And if you're attached to what they do and what they've been doing over their tenured developments of games,
50 years,
50
whatever,
plus, right. I mean, like, it means something. And have Tifa in a fighting game and Tifa in Street Fighter is like, I don't know, Japanese excellence, man. You know,
right? It's crazy,
that's like
right? Yeah,
that is like a cultural export of the ages, right there. So, and you know, with how deeply ingrained Street Fighter is into culture, even here in the West, right? Street Fighter and fighting games as a whole inspired much of like hip hop and stuff like that, especially coming into the late 90s, early 2000s. You start to get that, and then obviously the influence of Final Fantasy VII. Kind of everybody knows about Cloud, and the, you know, his Buster and the Sephiroth, and you know, the, whether it's through fashion or through music, their symphonies or whatever. Like, everyone, I think, that is in pop culture has some level of attachment to Final Fantasy VII, and yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's really hype, and had it not been leaked, it would have been more exciting. But
I definitely agree with you. The leaks definitely feel bad. I like that at least it wasn't, at least people were unsure because of the fact that the leak was wrong on everything else except Tifa. So like you at least have that build up where it's like, oh, the leaks are wrong. Look.
And also because we
like
had
she
like
shows up,
the Tifa rumor for Tekken instead of Street Fighter initially. So it's like, oh, like what? How did Capcom? No, like she's gonna be in Tekken. Like she's gonna be the next DLC season, whatever. Like, so there was a good bit of skepticism, which was good because it still left a lot of people with that surprise.
But yeah, I agree with you, and I think of like what would reactions have? How would I have felt not even knowing that rumor was flowing around? If no one had ever heard Tifa even being mentioned about being,
you watch Max's reaction, and not to glaze Max too much this episode, but like it's a fighting game episode. We got to talk about him. He watches reaction to that, and he just kind of like leans back in his chair. He's like, "Hey, it's Tifa," and of course he's happy. He's got a big old smile on his face. You know how much he loves Final Fantasy VII, but it's like the leaks like definitely ruined that reveal for him. Like you see a Max reveal for like anything else. Sora and Smash, I think, like was crazier for him than like Tifa and Street Fighter in terms of like a raw reaction because it hadn't been leaked, hadn't been spoiled. So
yeah, it's that is definitely unfortunate. It's still huge. I'm so excited to see what they do with her.
They said they're adding materia into that gameplay style. And I'm hyped to see what that is.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that because the only things they've mentioned about this is two things. They said they wanted to they're adapting the materia system into the game for her. What does that fucking mean? Could mean a lot of things. Yeah. Because it's like, are you just saying she can cast spells? Are you saying like, are they talking about the customizable aspect of materia? Because like that's the whole thing is you use materia to customize your character and their abilities in that game. So it's like, is it like an install? Is it like a stock thing? Is she gonna cast different elemental spells through materia? Like, what does that fucking mean? And they also said. So they said they specifically named that one, and then they said they are adapting another Final Fantasy system, which to me is got to be Limit Break.
Yeah, it's gotta be Limit
like
Break.
That's what they're talking about. So I'm curious if that because I assumed if you would have told me base what does Tifa look like in Street Fighter 6, her limit breaks are just going to be her supers, and then like her actual moveset will incorporate, certain abilities, her uppercut like from Remake. And because like if you played Remake, she's got a ton of shit. She's got like a DP, like what is equivalent to DP with like this drill uppercut and this like slide kick and like all these other things that you could easily make her special moves. You make her supers limit breaks, right? Just makes perfect sense. But if you're telling me if the other system, because there's two things that come to mind, right? When I thought about it a little more deeply about what is the other system they're hinting at. There's Limit Break, which is the obvious one, which, okay, if that's its own system, is it not tied to supers? That's interesting. What does that mean? Does she get like, does she have Street Fighter 4 revenge meter in the form of Limit Break? Like, is that what that is? Or are they talking about, I actually just thought of a third one. So the second one, are they talking about summons? That would be interesting and weird. And that's like a Final Fantasy system. Is she going to have summons? But the third one I thought about, Tifa notably has a interesting limit break in the form of like Final Heaven and stuff. With her like slot machine limit break. For those who don't know, she has a thing where like makes slot machine and you based on the slot machine, like she gets like different limit breaks and stuff, and then that obviously lets her get like access stuff. Are they specifically talking about that? Maybe I don't know. Like, will she have her like slot machine limit break system? Maybe. But yeah, I don't know. If I had to pick more specifically, I'm assuming it's gotta either be summons or limit break is what I would assume the other system is.
I would think it's gonna be limit break, and then the limit break is you can like spend it on a special. So you would limit break that special, and then the materia would affect the properties of the limit broken special.
Interesting.
That's how I think they're gonna interplay that. And then obviously like, the supers are supers, and maybe there's a thing with you have like a secret level 4 when you limit break a super or something like that. Like I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean they've done like extended stuff like that. Yeah, like or like Alex has an example of it, right? Where if you do OD power bomb, you can spend 2 bars a meter to turn it into fucking
Is she
what's
gonna
the Kenny
not
Omega
have
move? One winged
drive
angel.
and have
Yeah.
limit instead?
What'd you say?
Is she not gonna have drive meter and have a limit instead?
Oh no. There's
Well,
no fucking
ah,
way. It's yeah,
should be the new Mai. Come on, not affected by drive
well, Mai
exhaustion.
isn't affected by drive because her normals are that good. That's
Yeah.
entirely different. That's an entirely different issue. That bitch can burn herself out and do whatever she wants because her pokes are that strong. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, balance notwithstanding, I'm very curious. Like, and I think a lot of people echoed this sentiment. And I do think it's true where people have talked about like, oh, is she gonna be broken? Like, whatever. And a lot of the pros have said like, even if she's not on launch, she's just going to get buffs. Because if you look at the Mai Terry situation, Mai and Terry came out. Mai was like top 1 insta. Terry was actually not. Terry was like a mid tier kind of early on. He had very like clear problems, and they went on to like buff him multiple times, and now he's like arguably the best Shoto in the game. So like even if this character comes out and is like mid from a balance perspective, you can absolutely expect buffs like pretty quickly to
True,
her.
yeah.
So like she will be there regardless of whether she's there on launch. So I don't even think that's the thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'm stoked. Obviously, like I want to see what this character looks like in action. She's not the last character on the list because they did release the dates. Yasmin comes out August 3rd of this year. Arjun comes out in autumn of this year. Tifa is early 2027, and then Bosch is spring as the last one. So my guess is they're probably timing that to time with the actual release of Final Fantasy Remake Part 3. Because of course, why would they not? So she's third.
So like that you release Tifa
Yeah.
because everybody's gonna be excited about Tifa if you release her later. They're gonna be playing Final Fantasy and they're not gonna be playing Street Fighter. So
I think they're gonna line up to be pretty close to each other. To be honest,
no
I think
doubt,
it's just gonna be
but
like a cross promotion.
I think you're just gonna want to be able to play one before the other, or vice like you don't like you want to make sure that people play your game as well. So
yeah. No, I think she's gonna be great. Now there was some, I guess, to move away from just specifically Tifa speculation and what we think she's gonna do. Let's talk more about a broader conversation here, where some people were very upset at the idea of like we're at a year 4 pass, we have 3 brand new characters and a guest character. Where do you fall on this as a year 4 DLC? 3 brand new characters, completely new to the series, and a guest character. Is that good? Is that bad? Where would you improve it? Would you make changes? What do you think?
you know it's tough with fighting games always because everybody wants their favorite character in the game.
And at 4 a year, it's extra tough, I think, on top of what you're talking about.
And like if you don't have legacy characters, first and foremost, people that like I play Oro in 3. I love Oro. Oro's not in 4. Wait, is he in 4? He's not in 4.
No.
He's in
Oro
5.
didn't come back until 5 DLC, yeah.
Yeah, and it's 5 DLC at the very end of 5. Right? And that's cool, but it's like I had to wait. I mean, I didn't have to wait cuz 3 was well out before I was born, but still to play him again, right, for the whole lifespan of 5, like I couldn't do that. I had to find new characters, learn a new character, this, that, and the other. So like it's tough and I get it, but at the same time the game has to evolve. And I think as like coming from Gear where Strive didn't have everybody that was an Exerd, right? There's still characters that haven't shown up since Accent Core, right? Like Anji didn't show up at all in Exerd. And Anji's my favorite character ever in a fighting game. I think he's sick. And so when he was announced for Strive, I was all in.
I was say, isn't the whole bit with Strive that's kind of funny is that isn't like all of Accent Core in Strive besides people who are dead, basically? Like
no, not Zappa.
Managed to Zappa I think is the only one that's not in, right, at this point, because I think everyone else is. It's like Robokai, who is like pseudo in through Venom.
Robokai is coming back.
Cliff is not in. Yeah, I was saying, that's not even super confirmed that Robokai is coming back. It's Cliff, who's dead. Zappa is like the only living one that I don't think is in the game.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah.
like in a brief cinematic like
Yeah,
post
he's
credit.
shown in an ending credit scene with Ram, I believe, or something like that.
No, with Faust because he works at
Oh, Faust,
the
yes.
observatory or whatever.
Right, yes.
Yeah, so he's like with Faust and maybe Ram is there with him. There was 3 characters in that picture. I don't know if it was Fanny from Petite, but yeah, Zappa's got like a new hat, and I remember I saw that at the end of the story mode, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, he's got a new design. He's coming back in, and it didn't mean anything because we got Dizzy and Elfeld before him, and they used their Exert models. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So like, I think it's fine. I'm neutral to it. to make a long story short. I think it's fine. 3 new characters is cool. New series characters, especially if 6 is going to be like your new generation of Street
They're saying
Fighter.
10 years. I don't know if you saw the interview. They said 10 years they want this game to hit.
I didn't see the interview, but I saw like a DLC schizo post that was like,
yeah, I mean,
all the characters coming out in the next 10 years. This is the leak.
So yeah, I mean, leaks aside, they have come out and said, like the directors of Street Fighter 6 that they are looking to hit a 10-year mark, was their exact words, for Street Fighter 6. They want the game around 10 years.
The Virtual Fighter can do it, why can't they?
I mean, granted, 10 years is a long time. That is 2 years more than I believe Street Fighter 4, which was around for about 7, 8, which was the longest spanning Street Fighter prior to this. Yeah, I think 5 hit close to that at 7 years also.
And I think they can come to that conclusion too, because it's like Street Fighter 5 had a decent run, but that game had its problems, right?
Yeah,
like,
it wasn't until AE where that game really started to take off. People hated that game.
With system,
people hated 5.
Not even just like roster, like system wide, that people just hated that game, right? But I think they know they struck a gold mine with 6, and they're like, people love 6. We're doing something right.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
Why develop a new game when we can just update 6, and like halfway through year 5, year 6, or whatever, we'll do, maybe. I mean, RE Engine's gonna look good for a long time. You can just tell.
Yeah.
But they'll maybe do like an engine update or the perform like a big like 2.0 update of some kind to freshen everything up,
as they would normally call it. Yeah.
And then you have like Street Fighter 6 Champion Edition, all DLC included up to the 5th year, and then
see, that's what I'm wondering, because they also said they don't want to add too many mechanics because they don't want to overcomplicate the game. At some point, they need to really start, if they really want this game to be 10 years. People have been complaining about the state of balance for 3 seasons now, how every new season feels stale because they're not willing to do enough to change the game.
Changes? Like regular balance updates?
Well, it gets seasonal balance updates, but they don't, like, they're changing the game, but it's never been that drastic. Like, that's the thing, is they're very timid with making large changes to the systems of Street Fighter 6.
I would be too,
and in my opinion,
Tekken's fucking track record thus far.
Sure, but if you want a game to go 10 years, I don't think you can maintain that logic for 10 years.
No, absolutely not. People
can only get drive rush throw looped for so long before they literally crack and become eco-terrorists. Like, I don't, like,
look at what Gear did. Gear had like a fundamental shift in the way that game was played when they got rid of Wild Assault.
That's why. Yeah, that's my thing, is I think at some point that has to come. Is that year 5? Is that year 6? I don't know, but I agree that I think at some point the Gear 2.0 has to happen to Street Fighter 6, where they need to really evaluate their systems and make changes to them. That being said, focusing on the now and less so the what happens in a few years, I'm with you. I saw a lot of cynicism about like, oh, I can't believe, 3 new characters and a guest character. And to me, it's like, one, that guest character is like a fucking megaton. Remove the leak aspect where you thought she was coming before it had, like, hindsight, whatever. That's fucking huge. You can't turn down that. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you hate Final Fantasy VII or JRPGs. If you can't acknowledge that Tifa is a massive fucking get for your fighting game, you're delusional. So yeah, she's gonna show up in any fighting pass anywhere whenever she wants.
I think the next
whenever
biggest
Square
is
Enix
Cloud,
says do it.
And Smash.
Yeah.
Like, how big of a deal was it that Cloud was in Smash?
No, I mean, you're right. I think there's actually just a poll I saw not too long ago in Japan where the like top 10 something characters JRPG character or something. I think number 2 was Tifa and like number 3 was Cloud or something like literally like
Is number one like Dragon Quest Hero?
I don't remember. I don't remember what the poll was exactly judging, and they weren't number 1 for it, but they were literally like 2 and 3 in whatever that poll was.
Yeah.
Like, so yes, exactly. Like you said, like Cloud and Tifa are probably the 2 biggest characters you can, if you're gonna pull from a JRPG, you can pull anytime. So yeah. And then if you're mad about 3 new characters, all I can say is, like, I don't know, man, get over it. We have, since this game launched for DLC, we've received 1 original character in Aki from the first season pass. In my opinion, we're fucking overdue for some new blood. Like, you know, like, I'm not saying they all need to be. Obviously, like you said, you're going to want your staples. We all wanted Akuma, we got Akuma. We wanted Sagat, we got Sagat. We wanted, you know, whatever.
People are going to be in the comments like, where's Dudley, man? Give me Dudley back.
I mean, yes, the Dudley thing. Anyone who wants Vega, I don't know what to tell you, man. Get a better raid character. No one wants Vega, bro. No, I don't. Fuck that character. I refuse to believe people are super down for Vega. Am I a Makoto guy? Yeah, I played some Makoto in Third Strike. I would like to see that character done in 6. But I'm not mad that there are 3 new characters in this game. The Bosch stuff, I could maybe get behind. As someone who played World Tour, I didn't really give a shit about Bosch. So it's like, okay, we got this World Tour guy who's now in the game. Fine. I don't think he had a terrible design. I think his design looks cool or whatever. Is he going to play like? If they're going with like the Psycho Power Bosch, where he was like all Psycho empowered and an experiment or whatever. Cool, I guess.
It's just to like further lore too, right? Because like ultimately fighting games, they tell a story, right? Like,
well, do you know about the weird lore involving Bosch? Speaking of,
no, I'm so disconnected from like.
So that motherfucker dies. He gets blown up by a bomb that JP plants on like a belt in a tournament, and he fucking dies. And in Ingrid's story, she like brings him back. And now he's in the DLC year 4. Yeah.
Sure, man. Maybe they do that to Cliff. You think the next 2 characters in Strive is Cliff and an original? It's a Cliff and Zappa, or an original character. Cliff and Zappa.
I've been thinking about that. I think it's Cliff and Zappa, but it's actually Zappa, and Cliff has like an illegitimate student or something. Is what I actually think. It's just gonna be the Cliff function.
They do. I was gonna say they like Paradigm brings Cliff back from the backyard, and it's like when you die, your soul just goes to the backyard. And there's another like world-ending threat, and we need our best warriors, so they bring Cliff in.
They return Cliff.
Or Axel like time travels and brings him into Strive.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, Bosch is maybe the one point I can be flexible on, where I could see why people aren't particularly excited for Bosch, because I'm not particularly excited for Bosch. So yeah, maybe you could have moved him out for like another legacy character, but I don't know. As far as the 2 other people they introduced, like Arjun, we obviously don't know a ton about. He clearly has some like wind or dust stuff going on. And then Yasmin, I think Yasmin looks fucking dope.
It was cool.
She's tied to the Philippines. I would say, yeah, exactly. She's tied to the Philippines. She's got like their karambit knife and all that stuff. You know, like she looks sick. Like, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's my thing. It's just like, I see people being like, I can't believe more new characters. It's like, bro, you need new characters in your fighting game. Yeah. Like, yeah, you need new characters in your fighting game. I can't like.
You know what? It also like repels.
Be sucking off Vega, M Bison, and Ryu for another 30 years. Like, you need new blood.
It also like repels series LARPers. You know, like the new bloods that'll come in and then be authorities on older games. It's like you didn't even play 2 Turbo. You slimy son of a bitch. I know you didn't play 2 Turbo. You don't have a Capcom Fighting Collection on your Steam, or on matter of fact on anything that you own.
No, yeah, it is.
Like, oh yeah, man, Vega, when you throw the glove, oh, it's fucking insane, though. It's awesome. Yeah, what a crazy character, dude.
No, seriously, if anyone, all people who are just like, no, man, I need Vega in Street Fighter 6. You need to get bent. Take your yeehaw rose overhead bullshit, your wall climbing. Fuck off. I don't know what the fuck off. I don't care. If that character never makes it into this game, that's a W. That's what I'm gonna say. I will go that far.
Chat,
Give me
if you've only played
Balrog.
Street
Give
Fighter
me
6,
Dudley. Give me Makoto. Keep Vega the fuck out.
give me Sean. Where's Sean?
Give me Sean. Actually, though.
Give me Sean. Give him cool basketball stuff. Show SNK how to make a cool ball character.
You already have Dirtbag Terry at his basketball.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Get him and Sean on the court. But yeah, I think the other ones are cool. I think the idea of like, oh, I can't believe 3 new characters. I think that shit is cringe, straight up. It's crazy. Like, you need these fucking new characters. We need to stop pretending that we don't want these new characters. I do think there is something to be said about the release cadence. So to kind of maybe tie a bow a little bit on the Street Fighter thing, but to make a comparison, I guess, on top of it. 2XKO, obviously, this year, right? We know it's 6 characters. Yeah, 6 characters for the year 2026. Street Fighter has 4. Guilty Gear has done 5 for a while. I think this is the first time they're doing 4. 4 makes it a little tight. I do think it definitely irritates the exact problem you're talking about, where people are like, I want my favorite character, and when you only have 4 characters a year, it can get a little grating, especially when in year 2 you decided to use 2 of those slots for SNK characters, which is still a bold decision in my opinion. 2 of them was a little crazy, but whatever, it is what it is. You wanted some SNK marketing dollars, not gonna hold it against you. Because yeah, when you're 2XKO and you have 6 fucking characters, there's a lot of room to cover. When it's 4, every slot is a little more precious. So I do think they could minimize the growing pains of these DLC announcements if they somehow manage to squeeze a 5th character in there. Legit.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
2XKO point. Who do you think the last 2 are now? Right, we've got Caitlyn, Akali, Senna, Thresh. That's 4 of your 6. Who do you think the last 2 are for 2026 in 2XKO? Also, quietly, we didn't mention it. I do want to give a brief bit of shine. That game has over 1,000 entrants at Evo.
Let's go.
Cool. If those are legit numbers,
let's go.
Dope. Yeah.
The rivals naysayers will say that those are inflated numbers because it's a duos game.
Need 2 people. The duos game and Riot is like giving the you get shit in game for it. Yeah. But I don't know. I just think that's actually just smart promotion, and every fighting game should be doing that.
Yeah, you sign up for the big tournament, you get free swag, especially in-game stuff. Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
I want the Chipotle arena.
That's just smart.
Yeah. No, the last 2. If it's not set, then like what? Like
give it to me.
They're just gonna dangle the stick. No, what's it called?
The carrot.
The carrot on the stick.
Carrot on the stick.
Baiting us for set. I mean, obviously, what I want, set and Riven.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, because we don't even know. They could be doing.
They could do
There's
whatever
really
they
no
want.
way to nail any of this down. I guess who do you want? Is it Set and Riven?
Set and Riven are like Riven more so. Like Set, I can take or leave just because I know he's like the easy choice for give me a fighting game character, right?
Yeah.
Riven I think is much cooler because you could do fun stuff with the blade, and they're already introducing like weird like install mechanics. Like Senna has the Wraith meter, Thresh has like lantern stuff. Right, so like Riven could have the blade, and then if you
it reforges as you do combos.
Like certain specials will like do it, and then you could like wind slash or something. Like you can only wind slash super if you have full blade or something like that. Like I don't know.
Right.
That'd be cool. We don't have. I mean, okay, so if we're going based on lore, right? Because I don't know if they're tailoring. They're not tailoring. Well, they might be tailoring seasons to the releases. Because Thresh, while a Shadow Isles character, Senna is a Demacia character, and we're in the Demacia season.
But Akali was also this year, and that's not I don't think
But
they're necessarily keeping it
we got a Kali at the end of the Demacia season where they went to Ionia for Zahen, which was when the announcement for a
Oh,
Kali
yeah,
came out.
Maybe, yeah.
So like it's I don't think it's explicitly tying to it, but they're like, at least give me like at least one, you know. So if we're ending Demacia, right? I would want to darken, because next season is probably going to be either the Freljord or Shurima. So either give me a darken, because a darken can flow into either of those. So Aatrox, or I don't want to see Varus. Stop giving me gun characters.
Real.
3 is more than enough. We should have stopped at 1, but we can't. We can't avoid it, right? If I see Akshan, I can't.
Arcane, a League of Legends story. What did you expect, man? I don't know. Caitlyn had to be there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, we have like the important Arcane characters. There's still someone out there that wants Jace. Stop begging for that character. We don't have any freak mages. We don't have any like weird freak mages in the game yet. Echo is like the closest.
You're right. We don't have Rise, and
yeah, we don't have Rise.
I think Syndra would be really cool.
Syndra would be dope.
Personally, yeah.
Syndra would be really cool. They could do an Ionia season.
Give her like some kind of Venom like pool ball mechanic with her orbs, you know?
Dude, if she's just Venom, Thresh is just Axel. So if we get Venom.
Do you know, I watched more of that character the other day.
Yeah.
One, they gave him a summon skull recolor. Shout out.
I saw that. I saw it. Sick.
Yeah. That dude has a teleport dash. Like he can dash through you. Like
the character
they
has
gave
it all.
Axel a teleport dash? Like, are we fucking serious? Like
no, but he's a big body, so it's like it balances out.
Yeah, okay.
He's a big body in attack game.
Okay. Yeah. I see what that character's doing.
Yeah. No, they give him the. I
was gonna get back into that shit to play a Kali, and I watched Thresh hits people in a corner, and I said, I don't know if I want to play this game.
Not with a Kali's health pool. Absolutely not. That character gets touched and is gone. No, they gave not only they put Thresh out.
He looks. Yeah,
they put Thresh out with lantern tags, so you can tag into the lantern, and they added a new fuse called Team Fight, where you can both fight at the same time.
That they had to subsequently nerf because the entire community said that this is fucking broken. I can't believe you do this. And then Sonic Fox said it's not broken. Y'all are bad.
Yeah, how am I supposed to block 2 people, Sonic Fox? Stop trying to finesse wins. Play with honor.
Oh man, it is good though.
Yeah. Give me a dark. Give me Aatrox.
Riven set's good.
Give me Riven Aatrox.
Set is good. Aatrox, I agree. If I was gonna get a darken, it's gotta be Aatrox or Kayn, in my opinion.
Kayn. Kayn could be really cool because then you have like
you could work in 2 different installs possibly.
Yeah, like, the 2 different styles. Yeah. So like, and it could be tailored to like where he is, if he's point or if he's assist.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That could be
cool.
If
you're the last player, you could get Rost. Or if you're
right, but if you're point,
you get blue.
Partner's still alive, you get blue. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Pretty sick. I think I want Pie in the Sky. I want Set. He's like always been like one of my favorite top laners. So obviously, I think outside of Set, if I had to pick one, Set's obvious. We've been talking about Set, so I'm gonna leave Set aside. I do want Set, but to give you 2 champions that are not Set, I'm gonna say Ornn.
Ornn is cool.
I think Ornn would be dope. And you know who else I want? I just thought of Urgot, but I don't want Urgot. Even though I think you can do something cool. I think you can do something. I do want kind of a freak, which is why I bring this up. So I think Ornn, and then outside of Ornn, I would like to see Galio.
Galio would be rad.
Yeah, I think so Galio cool. With like armored charge
Yeah,
punch and
dude.
like something with a taunt,
You
and then
have like
like the
anti-projectile stuff because he's like the
yeah.
anti-magic character in games, so you could, you know,
heroic impact or whatever. You have him do like a charge punch at the
let him
thing. Yeah, I
do
don't know. You could do a lot.
let
Yeah.
him do a tag super, not like a double down like tag thing, but let him
Mhm.
super with if he can level 3 from the back to swap in with his like ult, like in-game ult, like
Yeah,
come down
the old
thing.
punch. Yeah,
That would be nuts. That would break the game, but I think that'd be kind of cool.
yeah. No, yeah, I think Galio would be really cool if we're talking about like freak characters they could add. I think Galio, and then I've always liked Ornn too. I think you could do some really cool stuff with Brittle, where like, you know, he like breathes fire on you and you take like additional hit stun or like something like that. You know, like I think that
Before we
would be
jump
fucking sick.
into the climb, which
Mhm.
is a point that I think
Oh,
is
sure.
really
I
cool.
wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, you should talk about
Now
that.
that
Yeah.
now that we're on 2xKO, right? Before I get into the climb, if they put Sejuani in 2xKO, she's not gonna have the boar fight me. It'll be like a move,
Wow,
but
you think so?
she
You think
won't
they'll
be
cut
on the
Bristle?
boar. Yeah, she's not gonna be on the boar. It's just gonna be her fighting, and then the boar will like charge in as like a move.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
What
How do you fit it on the screen?
outside
I
of
get what you're saying,
Leopoldin, right? Who's another
Yeah.
mounted character in a fighting game?
No, yeah, I get you. It's tough, especially with like how much you would think that
And
room
like how
he
zoomed
has to take
in
up.
2xKO is. Like I played my cousin a little while ago just to like introduce him to it, because his only experience with fighting games was Mortal Kombat. I'm like, let me open your eyes. So we played 2xKO. We played Gear in 2xKO. He loved Gear, by the way. So shout out Guilty Gear. You guys struck a gold mine with that. We played 2xKO, and he's like, this game is like so zoomed in. Like to the point where he's like, he's having trouble keeping track of who he is because he feels like the game screen is so like compacted with like characters and
Yeah,
how
I
big
mean,
they
especially
are.
when you enter 4 fucking characters on the screen,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, some of those characters are real big. Darius is very big. Blitzcrank very big.
So I don't know. Riot, investigate. Yeah, but the climb. So we talked about, I think it was last episode, or it was definitely a previous episode. I'm pretty sure it was the last episode. We talked about single player content in fighting games.
It was a couple episodes ago. That
okay.
was yeah. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
It's like maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago.
2, yeah. I want to say 2 ago.
We mentioned single player content in fighting games, and you know they heard us apparently, and across many a game. I mean, obviously Street Fighter's had theirs for a while, and Tekken has a.
There have been
movie
attempts. There have been
thing,
attempts.
yeah.
When I think our main conclusion, if you listen to that episode, was they're not good enough, and we need to really start thinking about how to do this.
So Riot heard our cries, heard our prayers, and answered with a new thing in this most recent update of 2xKO called the Climb. Basic rundown: it's a Slay the Spire-esque, like start at the bottom, climb to the top, fighting game roguelite, which super sick conceptually. Thing is,
Conceptually sounds awesome.
yeah, so the gist of it is you and your friend, or you by yourself, load in, you choose a difficulty, beginner, intermediate, or expert, and you play through a gauntlet of fights with different duos that use different grooves or have like a different gimmick attributed to them, like Timo will only use projectiles, and it's like challenge modes pretty much per thing. Or it's like it's Yasuo Echo with Juggernaut, and he's more likely to do this, and you'll get like this augment. I actually don't think, I might have misread. I don't think they're tailored to a specific play style. I think it's just the grooves, or the fuses, sorry, and the augment that you'll get. But you get augments, which I think is the big thing that makes this mode appealing, rather than just being a gauntlet like boss rush, kind of like the tower in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, for sure, yeah, absolutely.
So after every match that you win, you get to choose between one of 3 augments, and depending on your route, you can choose to get like ones that will affect defense or supers or normals and things like that, or you'll just get like a generic gold augment or whatever. And so friend of the channel, Eli, and myself, we played a few rounds a night or 2 ago at this point, and he's a Vi main.
I'm very curious what you thought, because this mode sounds cool. I haven't touched it, so I'm very curious.
So we played some expert, and I was trying Senna, and I was getting my ass kicked. And I'm like, let's just like get like a full run in. Let's, you know, learn a new character or something like that. So we toned it all the way down, and we kind of just mashed, and it was great. But
Yeah.
we managed to like construct a build for him because he plays Vi, where charge moves charge instantly, and his charge punch became unblockable.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he would just like, I would be like, all right, you're in. If I wanted to like, if I wanted to like doom scroll for it, but I'd like hold tag, put him in, and then just for like 2 whole health bars, he's just like vault breaker, like instantly across the screen every time, and it's unblockable.
Yeah.
And then we got an augment towards the end that was you can't block, but you do more damage.
That's cool.
So who needs to block when you're charged? Your armored charge is unblockable. Oh, and we gave the charge armor. That's another thing. So like we broke that move, right? And I think that was really cool and really fun. And if we played on a higher difficulty where we could kind of like feel that kind of mean something a bit more, it would have been a lot cooler. But like the conceptually it's there. Like the idea is there. It's a lot of fun. It is only a singular like boss fight run though. And I think that kind of detracts from it. I kind of wish it was longer. And that there was more stuff in between as opposed to fight or rest. You know, because so it's a cool thing too. You keep your health bar and your meter.
Sure, yeah. Makes
throughout
sense.
Throughout matches. So you don't like instant heal next game, go from the beginning. No, you like if you're low health or if you died, you come back with like a sliver of HP left. Like you're like pixel health almost.
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
But I kind of wish there was just more stuff, maybe like shops and stuff along the way, as opposed to fight or rest. You know, that's kind of all there was.
And what's the detractor to resting? Is it that you won't get upgrade cards, basically?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like you don't get the upgrades. You just get health, and I don't even think you refill some meter. I think you just get health back.
Sure, yeah.
So,
you're right. I mean, that sounds fun. I legitimately actually want to try that now. Because I have kind of wanted to get back into that game now that they've got some more characters lying around. So I do want to try that. You're right. I think it's a good first crack. I think as a single player mode, that's a great concept, and it sounds like they're delivering it at least from the.
And it'll definitely it's Riot, so it'll definitely get like fleshed out as time goes on.
No, exactly. It's a great foundation, which is what you're looking for. They can just update on that infinitely, like more fights, more bosses, more upgrades. You know, like all of this stuff.
I do think other fighting games should introduce something like that. I think if Gear had a roguelite like boss rush mode, or even like, I think it would be cool if they just made it kind of like a beat 'em up. I think if you just went through and they added like some of the jungle creeps, or maybe like a generic enemy type for that tied into one of the seasons. And as time goes on, I think they can do that, because it's like, are people experiencing League of Legends through League of Legends now, or are they experiencing it through our other League of Legends properties, Riftbound, TFT, 2XKO, right?
Yeah.
And how do you, like, Lore and Legends came out, and that was a huge success for that set. I mean, competitive players maybe thought otherwise, but I think from a casual perspective, people love that set.
That set was fine. As someone who played it, I don't know about like the hardcore competitive side of it, but I thought it was a good set.
I heard fairly mixed things about it from like higher up tiers, where people were like, I'm so sick of set 16. But I mean, it was good enough that they, in the Chinese version, they let that set persist forever, so you can go back and play set 16 on top of the other sets that come out afterwards, which I think is a testament to them wanting to flesh out the world more, because Arcane definitely got people interested in it to a point, right? So if they're gonna do that, then I think a beat 'em up mode or something like that, where you go through. If they want to end off the Demacia season by giving us Kayle and or Morgana, maybe the fight where you go through the war at the start of Demacia, where you fight Aatrox as the final boss, might be a cool mode they can introduce, or something like that, where you play as Kayle and Morgana, like the two of them, you can tag between them, and that's the mode you collect augments or maybe items to to like change your play style. So yeah, just things to consider. Right. This is my resume. Pick me up. I'll do it.
Yeah, I think that to me is the important part. The idea that they have established a foundation for a single player mode that seems like not only a good foundation, but one that can actually be built upon.
Right.
And augmented and changed and added to. That's fucking awesome. I'm glad it's there. Yeah, no. I want to go back to that game.
It's fun.
I should go back to that game. Yeah, I think
let's run some
time.
climb, dude. Like it's sick.
Yeah. It's about that time. You know who else seems to be making a play into the larger world of single player fighting games?
Yeah.
Fresh off their 20-year comeback.
Yeah. Who is now a real game.
Yeah.
We're not getting training room videos anymore.
Dude. Oh my god. Virtua Fighter Crossroads. If you guys did not see, they had a big they had a story trailer at Summer Games Fest that they also ended up putting out like a 30-minute thing afterwards, where they showcased both the narrative stuff, what the battles look like, some gameplay shit.
Yup.
And man, if that story mode just didn't look good, right? Am I crazy? Like, wow.
Yeah.
New character, right? I'm not a VF lore head, so I'm not gonna claim I know all the VF lore, but I'm pretty sure Cielo's completely new, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the way that it's presented, like the opening cutscene is like you all should watch it, especially the extended version.
That blonde chick might be an old character. That might be like
I think that is because she's the girl who we saw fighting in the training room trailer that we made fun of. The training room character where it's her fighting Akira.
Yeah.
With no music in a training room.
Just sneakers squeaking on the court, yo.
God, I can't believe they showed that in Evo. Oh my god, I still think about that shit. So like that to me was pinnacle. Like maybe we are doomed to genre. I don't know. Like, if this is what our fucking publishers are putting out, like if this is how they want to market their return to the game,
that's SNK, my fault. I was gonna say Harada shows up, but no, different studio.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Wow. Holy fuck. That trailer is abysmal. But shout out to them. They've made up for it.
They redeemed themselves.
Yeah, they have redeemed themselves tenfold. Because yes, this is a character that has a strong feeling. Like, it has a vibe. It's selling you on like a world. It seems like there's a story there. Whether it's good or bad, we'll see. But it gives you that old kung fu Bruce Lee movie feel.
Yeah, totally.
Totally, like dude. There is we were talking about it earlier before the podcast. But I want to talk. There's a scene where the main character Cielo is like he's going by, he's living in like a favela style town or whatever.
Yeah. I think it was like Kowloon inspired, as it was like described to someone.
And he's just walking down the street, music's bumping, it's got this great song. And then he goes by a graffitied wall.
That
like
is totally not Miss Independent, by the way.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Y'all go listen back to that and let us know. Comment down below.
Yeah, there's 100% Miss Independent is in that track. He's going by this wall, and as he's going by this graffiti wall, it has like VF characters on it. It's got Pai Chan, and then it's got like a dude who I don't know. Like I said, not a VF guy. It's got like two guys that I don't know, and then Akira I know is like the last one. And as he goes by them on the graffiti wall, they like animate and like, like they have like Pai throw a kick and he like ducks under it. And then like, he goes by this one guy doing an armbar and he ducks under that and he dodges past like another
He's
thing.
He's like bobbing and weaving from the moves.
Right. Like from the moves, like as they're happening on this graffiti wall. And then he finally gets to like Akira, and then Akira does like the dash punch and he does the dash punch like past Akira. And then they just like, they do like a cut to like, you're looking at it from like Cielo's fist. And then just behind him, you see the wall is like static again. Like all the graffiti is like static where it was before it all started moving. And, like, shots like that, I was just like, "Oh, yeah, like, you guys gave a shit," you know? Like, you cared about telling, like, a story in a world and, like I said, capturing that kung fu movie feel.
Yeah.
It's so good. It looks so good. It
No,
really
it
does.
looks
Like,
great. And then
yeah.
even like beyond the cinematics of it, where they showed some like scripted
Yeah.
gameplay, I guess, or like maybe like from a cinematic into gameplay or vice versa. That
Mhm.
looked solid. I mean,
No, yeah.
that looked like a real video game. You know,
Yeah,
it's more than
exactly.
what they've
Like,
shown us. And
the fights are there. He's battling like, you're getting into actual battles, like, actual Virtua Fighter, like, versus battle stuff,
Mhm.
and then it seems like there's some, like, beat 'em up stuff as well
Yeah,
as,
there's some
like
like Tekken Force kind of
yeah,
run around, punch a guy
instances
thing.
of yeah, running around and going through a world and stuff. It it looks really good. Like, if we had to see what the logical
Like,
I'm gonna assume, yeah, knowing what I know about this, which is, as much as any of us know from these trailers,
mhm,
I do feel like this is what if we're taking the idea of World Tour, this is what we all want it to come to eventually, right?
yeah,
Um, and I honestly prefer because here's the thing. John Street Fighter, the World Tour created character,
yeah.
John or Joanne Street Fighter, whoever gender was standing. Um, that shit to me was all like, "Ugh, who cares?" Like, okay, cool. I'm glad that like I'm in the world of Street Fighter, but like the creative character thing just didn't appeal to me. I would actually much rather them take this approach next time they want to try something like that, where it's just like tell it through a character that you're adding to the game. Like a new character, a
Or
new
Sean.
young character, a Sean, if you will.
Yeah. Give me Sean
Yeah,
and let me start on the basketball court, and then Ryu comes up and I gotta box this guy.
no, legit. I hope that if Capcom wants to go back and do World Tour shit again, don't do create a character. Tell a story through a character. Have them interact with Street Fighter Legends as like side characters and mentors and stuff along the way. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like tell a story. It looks sick,
Are
and
we
this is actually what
is this
I
setting
feel
the
like what we want
precedent
out of this stuff.
for cinematic fighting game narratives now? Like, are we
I mean,
could this be the start of the golden age of fighting game story content?
I mean, maybe. Like I said, we won't know till we play it, but I got to imagine this is looking because, like, I mean, if you look at that gameplay, bro, it starts as like it's interesting because like it starts like kind of 3D, but then he goes and punches the first guy, and then it kind of switches the perspective
To like the
to be
Virtua
like
Fighter.
normal Virtua Fighter
Yeah.
3D. So if they've like figured out a way in which they can do that, yeah, everyone
Yeah.
should be copying that shit. Like right? Like am I
Absolutely.
crazy? Like
No, yeah.
yeah, like
It's like the Pokken approach where it's like the farther you are, the like it becomes a different game kind of
yeah,
thing.
like
And
that seems fucking brilliant. Like, so 100%, like everyone should be looking at this, and if it delivers and is good, there's no reason every fighting game company, Tekken, Capcom, every franchise should not be trying to learn some sort of lesson from this.
Gear
And
probably
if there
won't
is a
because
single
Daisuke
lesson
just
to be,
wants to make the movie, but you know.
God, they need to figure something out. That's not that. Whatever it may be, I don't know, but figure something out because holy fuck, we got to stop with the
Just make
play
an
2 hour
overture
movie
again,
button.
man. Just like let the story mode just be overture. Like you made
Whatever.
Gear 2
I
for a
would
reason.
take that. Yeah, I would literally take that over
Yeah.
this play movie bullshit. Like straight up. Oh my god. Ugh. Maybe we can only hope, right? I think that is what we're hoping for. This is hopefully the start of a new golden age of fighting game single player content.
We're far from the subspace emissary, you know.
That is Space Emissary is better than what we've gotten in the last
Oh yeah,
10 years, which is saying something.
I agree. That's yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. Not working. But yeah, I'm glad to see it. I think it was a really good as someone who has historically had no attachment to Virtua Fighter, I want to play this game if not for single player merit alone based on what I'm seeing. And that's a big deal, man. That's how you get people to play this genre. Like You want new blood in fighting games? This is one way to do it.
You gotta, and
Like,
even then, like if I were to show that to somebody who's so disconnected from fighting games, I were to show them that trailer and be like, "Would you play this game?" They'd be like, "Oh, dude, like sick martial arts game." Yeah, and then they
right.
come to find out that it's a fighting game on top of being like a sick narrative game. That's I think where it needs to be, as opposed to it's a fighting game with a sick narrative.
No, I agree with you, because the whole idea is not only do we want to because if this can capture an awesome single player narrative, great, happy, cool. If that gets people in the door, awesome. What we talked about last time and what I hope this game can nail, or at least if we're working towards it, I hope that you can play this single player having never touched a Virtua Fighter and feel like you've learned enough about VF systems that you can step into a multiplayer game. And I'm not saying you're going to be a fucking pro winning your locals after it, but I feel like you should be able to walk in post this campaign and feel like you understand a basic level of the game, like actually, and you can play a multiplayer match against someone of your equal skill level, and it feels like you know what you're doing and like you're not just mashing because you've been mashing all story mode. That is really that. If it can deliver on a sick single player narrative with cool content and give you an entry level to actually playing this game as a fighting game, then yeah, I think you're right. We do have a new gold standard.
And it needs to be like a system emphasis as opposed to like character mechanic emphasis.
Yes.
Right? Because it's like, and then because what's going to happen, and or not what's going to happen, but what happens in a lot of fighting game story modes and like single player modes is you go in and the game, it's like, okay, throw a fireball, do this, right? And sometimes you have the input, sometimes you have just a single button, which whatever, that up for debate, right? But the single button's not going to teach you. If the fighting game doesn't have modern controls, right, that's a problem. And then you get like upgrades and like weird stat boost items and stuff like that you find throughout the story mode that change properties or change the way the game is played. So it's a more arcade kind of like Red Sun experience as opposed to a fighting game experience. So when you go to play online and you're like, oh dude, I love this game, I love playing Ryu, and then you go in and you don't have like triple flaming fireballs, you're like, why do you only shoot one? I got the upgrade in the story mode, right? Like that's like, you don't want that disconnect, because then people are going to be like, well, I played the story mode, the online isn't as cool, as flashy and as fun, so I'm done with the game, uninstall, I beat the story, I'll come back when there's story DLC, maybe, if that. Or you're so like, this game kicked my ass, I don't want to play it ever again, kind of thing. It's something something to be considered.
I think you're spitting 1,000%. Yeah, just besides there being a drought of actual single player content that's good in any way, shape, or form in fighting games, the ones that are there, like you said, I think there are very little transference to playing the game. You can beat Tekken 8's story and not understand jack shit about how to play that game on an actual level. And I don't know, like that shit sucks. Like I think that's a terrible idea. Like, what other game is there such a degree of disconnect between what you're doing in single player and like what you would do in multiplayer? It just, and it's, you can't tell me it's not solvable. Like,
if I was to boot up a COD campaign and then go to play multiplayer, I would know what my gadgets do. I would know how my guns work. You know, I would know where the attachments are. All that.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, the argument shooter versus fighting game, technical, whatever. It should still apply, right? Why would I play Call of Duty and then play Contra in the campaign and then go into multiplayer? It's first person, different control scheme.
Exactly.
Right.
Literally different rule set. No, 100%. Because that's the thing, is I feel like some people hear that and they're like, oh, you expect people to be, the campaign is supposed to fucking teach you your bread and butter for every character. No one's saying that. Yeah. But I should know by the time I finish a campaign in a fighting game, the concept behind anti-airing. Yeah. The concept behind a block string, the concept behind a punish, like, you know, those should be things that are literally taught, like a link, you know, like very basic concepts, like, you know, those punish, should be things are working in.
It's like you teach them blocking first, and then you're blocking, you're getting your ass kicked, right? And then the time slow happens, and the little pop up comes up. It's like,
this is negative on block.
This is negative. Yeah, this move is slow. Right, don't even say negative. This move is slow.
Sure, yeah. You got to phrase it, yeah.
And then It's like, now is your chance. This move is slow, something like that, right? And then it tells you the button to press, or it tells you the input, like quarter circle forward, whatever, right? And you do a flashy special, fucking Iori flame raise or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then that's...
No, I mean, I agree. These are all things that can be done. This can all, like, happen. Like, you can teach people... You can teach people the basic concepts through a story mode. And if you think we can't, it's just because no dev has done it, and that's a problem on fighting game development and has been for years. And I hope we are maybe starting to see someone really crack at addressing that and fixing that problem, you know? Yeah. Fuck, man.
I think I'll end it off with this one.
Yeah, I think we've cracked it.
Got a question for you to finalize this.
Sure.
Do we see Tupac as a DLC character for VF6?
I will leave it like this.
Yeah.
Please, God, no.
It's Biggie all day, baby.
To say, no, unrelated. To say the least, I know apparently I've been hearing things being said about, like, I guess maybe it's like not as culturally strange for dead people to appear in media over there. It's weird here, man. I think it's weird. I'm glad that they asked his family and seemingly got it cleared and all that stuff. I wish they never did it. That is my thoughts. It
was strange enough to have Snoop Dogg there. It is even stranger to see... Is that why it's called Stranger Than Heaven? Because they have strangers from heaven?
I don't know. I don't even want to know how they're gonna, like, approach that. They're probably not, because why would you? But yeah, to go from, hey, Tupac is in our game, to being like, Jeff Keighley going, Snoop Dogg, what got you into Stranger Than Heaven? And him being like, I love the Sega game. The Sega game is my favorite game. I love
Sega games. I've played them all.
No, he didn't even say games, bro. He said, I love the Sega game. I've been playing that game all my life. If they cut you a check, just stick. I don't know. It's fine. But Jesus Christ. Like,
Snoop Dogg also alludes to a new Def Jam game.
Yeah.
But not Def Jam.
The one that we heard about, like 2 years or 3 years ago? How long ago was that? He was like,
we hope to show you the new Death Row Game Studios game very soon. And then he walked off stage. And then everybody's like, oh shit, Def Jam. We're going to get AI Tupac in that also.
God. Ugh. I don't even want to. Yeah. Oh, man.
You give me the AI Tupac versus AI Michael Jackson, I might buy it. That's all I'm saying. We've been HotKeys Esports.
We have been HotKeys.
The hottest esports podcast on the planet. I'm Dobon.
I am Prater. Thank you for listening.
Play more fighting
comment,
games.
Subscribe. Play more fighting games. Tell your friends.
Do it all. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Bye.